he was preaching that through throughout him preaching all the time, going around and healing people. That's what he would preach to people. I come to give you life so that you can live more abundantly. I come to set you free, right? People was like, you can't set us free. But that's what he was doing. So, Jesus, I'm getting to the part where they're finna hang. I'm probably going to answer your question if you just listen, okay? Mm-hmm. So, Jesus had got whipped, right? What did they put on his head?
A thorn crown.
What did they whip him with?
A whip.
But what was on the end of the whip?
Knives. Like
cat. Remember this, cattails.
Cattails.
And cattails are sharp. Okay.
Like a knife.
Like knives. Okay. So they whipped him, right? They did that. What they do after they whipped him?
Hang him on.
What else did they do? Besides whipping him, they mocked him. What else did they do?
Spit on him.
They spit on him, right? They just did you spit on somebody, that's the worst thing you can do. You know? That's total disrespect. That's what they all was spitting on him. Like, you're nothing. Kicking him while he walking. So, after this, right, they had to take Jesus to the cross. But in order for you to go on the cross, you had to carry a cross. Do y'all know how heavy a cross is? A cross is probably like 100 pounds. So what they did was they put the crown on his head. They put a cross on his back like this. And he had to walk. Say he had to walk a block. Right? Let's say a mile. He had to walk a mile. 8 blocks. To go where they was going to put the cross in the ground and then hang him on the same cross that he carried. Right? So while he's walking with the cross, right, they was whipping him. Like he was an animal. You know how they do animals when they say horse go, and they go and they hit the horse and the horse move? Or that's what they was doing to Jesus. He couldn't fall. If he fell, they'll whip him some more. So he had to walk with the cross. Now while he's walking, guess what, guys? Guess what? While he's walking, his people, his disciples, his buddies, and his mama, they all right there. So they walking with him. They kind of like on the sideline, walking with him. Because they know that, he finna die. So Jesus, one of Jesus' main buddies, his name was Peter. This was like one of his, one of his ace boom coons, they were tight, you know what I'm saying? And listen, the night before, Jesus had told him, his name was Simon. Simon had said, Lord, why are you worrying? Because Jesus knew he was going to die. Now, you paying attention? Jesus knew that he was going to die the night before, right? He knew they was going to do this to him. So they was sitting down. They was eating. It's called the Last Supper. They was eating and they was, kind of like just relaxing, But Jesus kind of probably had a little, he probably wasn't all that happy, because he knew he was going to die. He knew he was going to die. So, one of his main buddies named Simon, that's too tight, man.
I thought you said his name was Peter. Oh, no.
His name is Simon Peter, I'm sorry. Thank you for paying attention. His name was Peter. And Peter was talking to Jesus. They was having a conversation, right? So, while they having a conversation, Jesus says, Peter comes to Jesus and say, Jesus, why you worrying, man? Everything gonna be all right, man. I got your back, man. I got your back. Y'all listening?
Yeah.
I got your back. Jesus looked at him and said, before the cock crows 3 times, before the cock crows, you would have had denied me 3 times. Now let me tell you what Jesus was saying, right? Before the cock crows, he was talking about a rooster. Y'all know what a rooster is?
Yes.
What's a rooster?
Like an animal.
Animal that lives
It's
in
a
farm.
chicken. In the morning, roosters go, roo, and they wake you up in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jesus said, before the cock crows in the morning, you would have had denied me 3 times. Meaning he's saying, you my homie, but you gonna act like you don't know me. That's what he's saying. When it come down to it, you gonna act like you don't even know me, right? And Peter was like, huh? Not me. I got your back, man. Y'all listening? Y'all know how people be like, your best friend be like, I got your back, man. I got your back. Right? And then when the stuff really happened, they disappear. They ain't really had your back. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's go back to the Jesus walking, right? So Jesus walking with the cross, right? And one of the guys that was whipping him was like, hey, that dude right there be with Jesus. That's one of Jesus' man. Got to get him so we can crucify him too. Y'all know what he said?
No, no.
He was like, who, him? He was like, man, I don't know, dude. Jesus looked while he walking. He said, no, I'm telling you, you Simon Peter, you one of his main disciples. We got y'all now. You need to come over here too. He said, man, I'm telling you, I don't know that guy. You say it again, I'm going to bust your head. Like that, right? And Jesus, that's the second time, remember? He denied him twice. So Jesus steady walking. And the guy said, hey man, I'm telling you, that guy right there, he with Jesus. And Simon said, man, he cursed. I don't, he started cursing. I'm telling you, I don't know that dude right. He was cursing. He was saying curse words. And when he did that, the rooster had, it had crowed. And Jesus looked and was like, and then didn't say nothing. And then Peter remembered what Jesus told him the night before. And he looked, put his head down and cried, and he ran off. So, why Jesus walking, right? He walking with this thing on this, what is he walking on his back?
The cross.
The cross is on his back, so he walking, right? So his mama Mary, she just crying. She just can't stop crying because her baby finna die, right? Just like any mama will be for their kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she just sad. She's like, man, he's gonna die, you know. So they get to the place. They put the cross in the ground. They take Jesus, right? Now, mind you, Jesus is bleeding, right? Y'all know that, right? He's blood everywhere. It's just the gross scene ever, right? He steady walk. He did all that. Do y'all know how they wiped the blood off his face?
No.
They took vinegar. Wouldn't that burn?
Yes.
If you bleeding,
Because it got holes and then if you
Right.
go outside,
they took vinegar and squeezed vinegar all on his head. And it was just like torture, you know? So they nailed him on the cross. They took nails. Like, look, the Bible say they nailed him in his hands, right? Some people think they nailed him here. It's impossible for you to nail me here and I'm hanging 30 feet in the air. My hand will rip in half. I won't stay up there, right? They nailed him right here.
oh yeah,
If they nail him right here, he can hold up because this bone is going to catch you and you ain't going to slide off that cross.
because if you put it right there,
It's going to rip. It's going to rip straight up.
Because it's like not, it's not a bone.
Right, it's not no bones that'll save you. Not a heavy bone. This wrist bone is a joint. It'll catch it, and you're not going nowhere. So when they hung you on a cross, they hung you on a cross. You didn't come off that cross, right? Nobody ever got hung on a cross and never came down. Nobody never, right? So they hung Jesus up, bow, bow. Now while they hanging Jesus, they also hanging the other dude that stole something. He was a thief. And Barabbas. Y'all remember who Barabbas was?
He was murdered.
He was the murderer. So they hanging him and this other dude at the same time they hanging Jesus. So it's 3 crosses, right? It's a cross here with another dude. It's a cross here with another dude. And Jesus in the middle. Right? So while they being hung, they steady making fun of Jesus. They steady mocking him. Steady saying something, right? Jesus finally said something. Y'all know what he said?
No.
He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He was talking to God. He was asking God to forgive the people for killing him. Right? Right? You get it, Janaya?
Yes.
He was being nice again, right? He not being mean at one time. right?
Yes.
So one of the guys that was hung up next to Jesus, I don't know which one, but one of the guys that was hung next to him, they said, if you the Son of God, man, just save yourself. You ain't got to go through all this stuff. We know you ain't do nothing. We kill people. We should be up here. You shouldn't be up here, man. Right? Jesus laid there. And one of the guys said, man, listen. The storm started to come. It started like, it went from being nice outside to being like a hurricane. You know, like this got real black. And you could see the clouds getting real dark, right? So one of the guys, when Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, you can see God kind of got mad. Because it was like, started thundering. Okay? It was thundering and stuff outside. It was getting real dark. Lightning and stuff. And the guy, when he said it, it's like, ooh, y'all in trouble. Y'all weren't supposed to hang this dude. You see what I'm saying? He knew then that this dude is really the Son of God. Y'all listening? So that guy was like, he said, man, you the Son of God. Tell God to save you now. He said, matter of fact, if you really are the Son of God, can you save me? Listen. Now here's a guy who was a murderer and a robber, a thief, right? He had enough sense to say, I'm finna die, but can you save me? Jesus said, yes, I can save you. Right? So everybody died. The Bible said Jesus gave up the ghost. That's what it said. I mean, he gave up his spirit. He gave it up. He just let go and died, right? Wait. So he let go and he died, right? So everybody else, all of them dead. So Jesus died, he's dead on the cross. They took him off the cross, right? Took him off the cross. Back then, they didn't bury you. They put you in a tomb. Y'all know what a tomb is?
No.
You ever heard of a mummy's tomb?
Oh, yeah.
Where they put mummies in these rock things?
Mhm.
Well, that's what they did back then. They didn't bury you. They put you in a tomb. So they took Jesus' body down, right? Listen, guys. They wrapped him in white clothing and put him in a tomb for him to be buried. So his mama, Mary, ran off. The other Mary was two Marys. Y'all know Mary? That's where they get that from. So one Mary ran off. The other Mary ran off. Mary Martha and Mary Magdalene. I forgot which one. I think Jesus' mama was. I think his mama was Mary Magdalene.
I heard of Mary Magdalene.
So they ran off, right? The disciples, they went off crying. They was crying. They lost their homie. They lost their best friend, right? So Jesus had preached before that he would die and that he would resurrect. He would come back, right? He had said this. He had said this way long before. A lot of them had forgot that he had said that. So they took Jesus, right? Put him in his tomb. And just so the guards knew that Jesus had preached that, right? So they didn't want his disciples taking his body out and then making it seem like Jesus had resurrected when he really didn't. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they had guards. They had the big, strong, like the security guys, right? Standing in front of Jesus' tomb, watching. Listen, they watching. So they had to watch all night for 3 days, guys. 3 days. The first day, nothing happened. The second day, nothing happened. Today is the day that it happened. Today, right now. Right? Today is Easter.
I was trying to say that.
Today is, that's why I want you to wait. So I can tell you. Okay? Today is Easter, right? So, on the third day, right? Well, say like in the nighttime on the second day, right? One of the guards fell asleep. When he fell asleep,
How many guards was there?
It was probably like 2 guards, right? They watching the tomb. One of the guards fell asleep. The other guard probably got distracted, right? And this is what happened. When the guard woke up in the morning, he saw that the tomb. Now listen, when they close you in this tomb, it probably take like 10 men to open it. You get me? It takes a lot of men to open this tomb. I couldn't just go open this door. You see what I'm saying? It's a heavy rock. They have to push it to the side, right? So the guard woke up and the tomb was open.
Because he had 12 disciples.
No. Jesus wasn't in the tomb. He was gone. No, you know where his body was? It was just clothes. The clothes was just there. His body was gone. The guard woke up like this, like, man, they finna mess. Oh man, I'm finna lose my job. That's what he thinking, right? Because he was supposed to watch the tomb, and how he tried to think, how did I stay asleep, and how could I not hear no men open this tomb? You know what I'm saying? They would have been saying, push, pull. They just can't just go quietly open this door. You see what I'm saying? Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So he thinking like, I'm finna get fired. It's over. I ain't gonna be able to buy my kids no more shoes. It's a wrap. That's what he's thinking, right? Right? Listen. Jesus had resurrected. He was out of there. Guess who he went to go see?
Mary.
Huh?
God. Mary.
The one who had what's
Simon
his name?
Peter.
Yeah.
Simon.
No. I think the Bible says that Jesus appeared like an angel. You know how angels appear? Meaning that you're not real, but I can see you. You know? And he appeared, I think, to Mary. One of them. He appeared to the woman. It was Mary. And she saw him and she was scared like a ghost. Like, oh my God. She's like, Jesus, is that you? And he said, yeah, it's me. She said, no, that can't be you. You're dead. I saw them kill you. You were crucified. How'd you get out your tomb? Right? So he said, hey, come here. Come feel my hands. Remember with them holes? He had holes in his hands. He said, come feel it. She felt it. She's like, oh. Felt the other one. He said, go run and tell all of my people that I have resurrected. I have came. I did what I said. She ran. She told her disciples. She told Peter and them, like, woman, you crazy. You ain't seen no Jesus. Jesus is dead, girl. We saw him. He dead. What you talking about? She said, no, I'm telling you, he here. I just saw him. I just touched his hand. I felt with my own hand. He's here. So, basically, Jesus appeared to his disciples, right? Listen, Janiyah. He appeared to his disciples. And guess what? They saw him. They couldn't believe it was him. They was like, oh my God, you said you would resurrect on the third day, right? They crucified him on a Friday, right? He came back to life on Sunday. Sunday morning. Now look, check this out. Jesus told all his buddies, those 12 disciples, he gave them a great commission. Meaning that he gave them an order.